Hey everyone, Gabriel from Skyscaling here. So last video that I did, I showed off the appointment setting script that we are currently providing our clients when it comes to the recruiting side of things. So when a prospect comes in, fills out a qualification survey, they qualify, people have the opportunity to book an appointment with you. If they don't, we have your AI assistant try to reach out to that prospect, have them book that way. Last case scenario, you have their information, you can still call the prospect on their mobile phone, book the appointment yourself on the phone with the prospect. And so for the client acquisition side, the process is very similar. We get people to fill out a survey, they qualify, people have the opportunity to book the meeting directly on your calendar page, which with an insurance agent. And so we help people two ways with recruiting and client acquisition. So for today's video, I wanted to show the exact appointment setting script that we are providing clients when it comes to setting appointments with potential clients for life insurance. And so before we start off, again, like I did last time, I want to go over a couple tips. So client acquisition appointment setting script, couple tips. So first off, approach with friendliness as if talking to a familiar acquaintance. So I don't mean that by being too friendly with a prospect. I really mean don't sound like any other salesman. A lot of people receive a lot of sales calls every year, every month, every week. You don't want to sound like everyone else. You want to sound like you've talked to this person prior in the past, but not too much. So when I say approach with friendliness, is like, have a filter, but still sound like you're a nice guy. You've known this person for a while, but you want to keep it professional. That's all I mean. You don't want to sound like everyone else, being too on the dot, but you want to sound like you've talked to this person before. Involve the person in the conversation. Obviously, don't just say your speech and don't ask them questions. You want to actually involve your prospect in the conversation. Ask them questions. Ask them why they're looking for an insurance plan in the first place, and actually have your prospect have a full-on conversation with you, and not just vice versa. You just pitching to them and hoping they'll say yes. Next, provide precisely what they're searching for. I see a lot of people calling and we'll start talking about the weather, what day of the week it is, how many children they like. Children, obviously, in this case, is a good thing, but you just want to call them. I use a good example. I think it's here. Consider selling your house. If you have a house and you are looking to sell your house, do you really care who is the realtor in your situation? Do you care who will be the one selling your house? Probably not. The only thing you want in this process is for your house to be sold at the price you're looking for. So when it comes to meeting clients, they are looking for the exact same thing for their situation. Okay, they're looking to protect their family. They're looking to put a protection plan in place for them and their children, their wife, so that they can make sure that they are financially protected if something does happen to them. So when you're calling prospects, make sure you get straight to the point and don't start talking about a bunch of stuff that doesn't necessarily matter to the subject that we're looking at. Okay, focus on the prospect, not yourself. That's a great saying, especially in sales. You want to care more about the prospect than they care about themselves. So focus on the prospect. You, as an advisor, as an agent, your goal is to advise and make the right decision for your prospect. And be honest. If, for instance, you have a prospect, they already have a life insurance policy in place. You call them and you see that the product they have is good for them. Don't try to sell them another product that you have that could potentially be the same or maybe even worse. Tell them that's a great product. You did the right decision. I'm happy for you. And eventually, when they do need to redo their insurance, they'll probably come to you because they know that you're honest and you didn't try to screw them over the first time around. So be honest with the prospect. Focus on them more than on yourself. When you focus too much on the sell, that's when it tends to run away. Okay, if you're only money focused, that's when money runs away. If you actually care about the prospect, you actually want to fulfill their needs, fulfill what they are looking for, that's probably when sales will start to happen and come your way. Okay, the prospect is interested in resolving their needs, not meeting you. Again, that's similar to what I used the example of the realtor in the house. Prospect simply seeks a quote or a price, or wants to learn more about the opportunity. That's more so for the opportunity would more be for recruiting, but the prospect simply seeks a quote or a price. And so by booking an appointment with a prospect, you are advancing the sell. That's what I tell people. Advancing the sell is the most important part. So step number one, you get someone to fill out a survey, qualify, whatever it is, a lead form. I have surveys. All my clients use landing pages because the quality of prospects is just that much higher. So we have people go through a survey, whether it's client acquisition or recruiting, both scenarios survey. And then step number two, calendar page. Step number three, they show up to the meeting. So right now, technically, your prospect is at step number one. They've only filled out the survey. They haven't booked the meeting. Setting the appointment is to advance the sell. Okay, so it's to get them to step number two, which is where you'll be meeting the prospect. You'll see what their needs are. You will be tailoring something that fits their needs, and then that's how we advance the sell. Okay, and yeah, so there it is. Suggesting a meeting should naturally progress towards addressing their needs and advancing the sell. And last but not least, I wanted to throw this in. Dialing is the hardest part, and I get a lot of people that tell me that in this day and age, you only want automated booked appointments. Yes, you will get some prospects that will fill out the survey that we have and will naturally just book a meeting with you. The same way you'll have people that will not necessarily book the meeting, okay? And you will have to dial them and book the meeting on the phone. And I've heard before people tell me, yeah, well, Gabriel, if they were actually interested, why did they not book the meeting in the first place? It's a great question. And some people, especially when you're dealing with a cold market online and selling, an important product like life insurance, when you as a stranger are going after people trying to address their financial needs for their family and make sure they are protected, people have absolutely no trust in you. When they actually just fill the survey, they see you on your calendar page, they have absolutely no trust in you. They don't know who you are. They don't know your values. They don't know what type of person you are. And so by calling the prospect, first off, the prospect will be able to put a voice to a name. Okay, so they'll be able to see that you're an actual human. You're not someone that's trying to rip them off. But they can also tell your values, the way you do business. People can tell a lot by a simple phone call. And there will be some people, sometimes some of your best clients ever will come from people that did not book the appointment. And you, by simply picking up your phone, calling them up and booking the appointment yourself, sometimes you will find some gold mines on people in those type of prospects that don't naturally just book the appointment and you have to call yourself. So it's not because someone doesn't book a meeting that they are not fully interested. I believe there's no such thing as a low quality lead and a high quality lead. It's all about intent. Okay, some people just have a higher intent in getting insurance right away than some people. And so some people will book the appointment right away. They'll show up, they won't say a word, they'll buy it, and that's the best transaction. There's frictionless. But you will have some people that it's not necessarily about them not looking for insurance or not caring about what you have to offer. It's them not having the enough intent to book the appointment themselves and show up to that meeting. So by calling them, you can build the intent. You can build their intent in getting insurance, whether it's by showing them the urgency or whether it's just by them seeing that you're a reliable source for them to get insurance. You can build intent, okay? So that's what I want to say for the tips on getting on booking more appointments, and just on not necessarily on booking more appointments, but just basically there's just some sales ethics or ethics in general that you want to use, or some tips that you want to use when you are calling up prospects to book appointments. So let's get in the actual script itself. So this is the script that I use or that I provide to clients when it comes to booking appointments. And so let's go through it together. So I'll act as both the prospect and as the agent in this case. And so the first line is from the agent. So for example, hello, John, it's Gabriel from XYZ company. How's your day going? And so your prospect in this case will say, good, and you, blah, blah, blah. John, it looks like he had responded to an ad. Looks like it was on Facebook or maybe even Instagram. But this happened yesterday afternoon about looking at possible help with putting in place a tailored family protection plan so that we can make sure that your family is secure in the eventuality of an accident. Does that ring a bell, John? Yes, that's right. Awesome. So, John, in this case, could you share a bit of information about your current situation? I mean, is there any specific reasons in mind why you would even consider a family protection plan in the first place? So you see how we are kind of disarming our prospect just by asking them, hey, John, and use a tone that is not too, aggressive. Just use a tone like a confused tone where you're asking your prospect, I mean, John, Is there any reason why you would even want a family protection plan in the first place? So kind of ask them as if, as if if they answer, yeah, well, I'm not too sure. Well, as if you could actually say something like, yeah, well, maybe you don't even need one. Okay. So just kind of disarm your prospect to where they kind of sell themselves. Okay. And so, yeah, well, I have 2 kids, so I wanted more information. Now, obviously, this script is it's like an average of all the situations I've seen, but obviously some answers might be different from one prospect to the other. But usually, people want life insurance. They're looking for a family protection plan because they have children. They want to protect their children, and so that's the answer we'll use here. But based off what the answer, you want to use. The script that I'm showing you today is not, and that's what I tell every single member of Skyscaling, you don't want to use this script word for word. You want the script to become a version of yourself, not the other way around. You don't want to read off a piece of paper because first off, people will be able to tell. When it's scripted, people can tell, okay? You want to sound natural, you want to have a good flow, but you can use this script to use the ideas that I have, okay? So first off, for example, right here, why would I say, looks like you had responded to an ad. It looks like it was on Facebook. Because if I say, hey, John, it's Gabriel here. It looks like, so I see here your form came and you responded to an ad. Blah, blah. People hear that. They've been hearing this type of salespeople for the past 20 years. Okay, psychology is different in 2024. That's why I like to use a tone where it's more natural. Hey, John, looks like you had responded to an ad. Looks like it was on Facebook, maybe even Instagram. Honestly, it doesn't really matter. But your form came in yesterday afternoon. And so it looks like you were exploring options for a family protection plan just so that you could maybe secure your family in the possibility or in the eventuality of an accident, of an unfortunate accident for you, blah, blah, blah. You want to use a tone that sounds, natural, okay? So, yes, that's right. Awesome. Could you share a bit about your situation? You have these specific reasons in mind for considering. So, again, like I did say. And then, yeah, well, I have 2 kids, so I wanted more information. Aha, I see. All right, so that makes sense. So, in this case, John, the main goal for your protection plan would be to secure your children. Is that right? Yes, that is right. And so you see how we just rephrase it back to them. We kind of re-put it in their face that, okay, so you are looking for insurance. Why? To protect your children. So you want to make them realize that, yes, I need a family protection plan to protect my children. You just kind of put it back in their face. Just repeat to them what they just said. Yes, that's right. Well, John, I guess that in that case, the next step would be to schedule a brief consultation call with me, personally one-on-one, so that we can identify the right product to safeguard your children in the unfortunate situation that something does happen to you. I mean, after all, it is crucial that we can tailor your coverage to meet your needs. Don't you think? Okay, how can someone disagree to this? How can someone say no to what I just said? John, we need something in case something happens to you. We need to cover your needs properly. Don't you agree? Obviously, you can't disagree. As a parent, as a family member, you cannot disagree to this. And so, yes, I agree. Great, John. So, in that case, when would be the best time for you? I do have some availability today or tomorrow around 5 p.m. What will work for you? And do not ever send your calendar to a prospect. Do not ever say, okay, John, well, in this case, I'll send you my calendar. You can find a time that fits your schedule. I used to do this, and 9 out of 10 times, the prospect will never book the appointment. Book the appointment on the phone with the prospect. Always, always, always take up their information if you don't have it. Usually you'll have the information already because, well, first off, you're calling the prospect. Obviously, you have their phone number, but we already have the people in the pipeline, but if you're calling a stranger and you don't have their email, whatever, okay, always book the meeting on the phone if you have to ask for the information. And if they're in a different time zone, literally find a time that fits your time and their time zone. Always book the meeting on the phone, okay? And so let's say, yes, today around 5 p.m. Perfect. Let me just quickly confirm some details so that I want to make sure that you are able to receive the confirmation and the reminders for our meeting, John. I have an email address, prospect@gmail.com, as well as a phone number, blah, blah, blah. Is this still accurate? Yes. Awesome, John. So in this case, I'll send you the confirmation right now. Could you just confirm you did receive that? Okay, awesome. So our meeting will be at 5 p.m. today. And last thing, John, could you just confirm if you will be able to join from a computer or a phone with a functioning camera? It is for compliance reason. It is a necessity. I need to be able to see your face and see that you are an actual human. I need to identify your identity. Does that sound good? Yes, absolutely. Fantastic, John. Well, I'll work on preparing you for a discussion right away, and I'll strive to find the best protection plan for you and your children at the most favorable price. One more thing just before I leave off. My schedule tends to fill up very quickly due to high demand. If for any reason, John, you cannot make it to our meeting, would you mind just give me a quick call, maybe a quick text message so that I can offer this opportunity to another family and protect someone else if I have to? Yes, no problem. Great, John. Well, in this case, I look forward for a conversation at 5 p.m. today. And again, if anything comes up, feel free to reach out and have a wonderful day. I'll see you then. Bye-bye. Hang up the phone. It's that simple. That's it. Short and sweet. And so let me just go over the psychology again. Okay. First off, introduce yourself again. Good and you. Looks like you responded to an ad. Looks like it was on Facebook, maybe even Instagram. And you were looking for a family protection plan. Remind them why you are calling in the first place. Remind them why they even filled out a form. People will sometimes fill out forms. They won't even remember what they did on their phone. Remind to them how you filled out a form so that, in the eventuality of an accident, your family was secure. So you remind to them why you're calling even in the first place. Yes, that's right. Ask them. Why? Find their needs, find their pain. What is it that they are trying to cover? Okay, their children. Aha, that makes sense. That makes sense. Kind of, make them feel like anyone in your situation should have this. So I guess the main goal here is to protect your children. Is that correct? And then re-put it in their face. Kind of just literally say back to them what they just said to you. Yes, that's right. In this case, the next step would be to schedule a brief meeting to identify. So advance to the step number 2, which is booking the meeting, which fits with what they are looking for. John, we need to book a meeting together so that we can go to step number 2. Don't tell them you're trying to go to step number 2, but so that we can actually go to the next step and fulfill your needs. Okay, and then tell them, hey, John, it's crucial for us to book a meeting and so that we can actually identify and tailor your product that fits your needs. I don't want you to over or underpay for a product. We want something that is, at the fine point of what you need. Okay. Yes, I agree. Great. When will be the best time for you? And so you get the rest. We're just getting information, booking the call, making sure they'll be able to join from a computer or a phone with a functioning camera. And so really that's it. Now, again, you'll have some people that will not answer the phone. And instead of just hanging up and calling 70 times over the next week, leave a voicemail. Most people will call you back if you leave a good voicemail and they have a good reason to call you back. Also, I want to get back to this point. Dialing is the hardest part, and especially in the insurance space. Life insurance is by far the hardest type of insurance to sell. But you guys have to realize that 52% of Canadians do not have life insurance. So most people do not have life insurance. Well, have the population. And so there's a good chance the person you're calling does not have life insurance. And so instead of just calling, giving up as soon as they don't answer the first time around, I know it sucks. I know a lot of people tell you not to do this, but keep calling. I'm telling you, keep calling. I've been doing business online for 3 years. And sometimes on the 12th call, I'll call for 12 days straight. And on the 12th call, they'll answer. And then you'll book a meeting and then they'll convert possibly into a client. So do not stop calling. People are literally, people are filling out a survey looking for a quote, a price, more information about life insurance. Maybe their intent is low. Maybe they're not interested. Keep calling. Keep calling the prospects. And obviously, if you see that at one point, they're just unreachable, fine. Move on to the next prospects. You can delete them from your pipeline. But every prospect, you're paying hard-earned money for marketing for every prospect that comes in. Please just try to maximize the value of all those prospects. People are actually filling out a survey. They have some sort of intent. Maybe it's just not built up enough. Maybe they don't trust you enough. So keep calling, and eventually, you'll probably get an answer. And again, the hardest part is getting the person on the phone. Once you have them on the phone, you can do a good impression. You can book a meeting with them, and that's how you will advance the sell and make more money, really. Okay, but let's talk about leaving voicemails. So when you call a prospect and they don't answer, obviously don't leave a voicemail maybe every time you call, but maybe after the second call, third call, you want to leave a voicemail. And if you leave a good voicemail, and again, the goal in the voicemail is to give them a reason to call you back, or we want to remind them why they filled out the form. So let's just go through this really quickly. So, hello John, this is Gabriel from XYZ Company. Looks like he had responded to an ad. Looks like it was on Facebook, maybe even Instagram. This form came in yesterday afternoon, and it appears like you were looking to put in place a tailored family protection plan so that you can make sure that your family is secure in the eventuality of an accident. Now, I just had time to get back to you to see if I could help. I should be available here for a little bit today. So here's my number, John, blah, 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 blah. Like I said, I should be available a little bit today. If you don't get me, please just leave a message, or you're welcome to text this number, and I will find a time to call you back so that we can have a short conversation. I'll talk to you then. Bye-bye, John. Hang up. That's it. That's it. And if someone reads their voicemail, they see that you sound sharp, you sound like you know what you're doing, you sound like you know what you're saying, and this makes sense, they will call you back. So I believe that's it. So this is the script for appointment setting for client acquisition. If you guys have any tips, if you guys think you can make this better, please leave a comment below. I'd love to read what you guys have to say about this. And it works. Okay, this script works super well for a lot of our members. But I want to see if you guys have different approaches. If you think anything in this could be better. I like constructive criticism. Obviously, nobody's perfect. So if you guys can find something that maybe works better for you, please just let me know. And I'd be interested to hear about your feedback. So this was Gabriel for Sky Scaling. If you guys have, if you are an insurance agent, financial security advisor in Canada, you are looking for, a partner, a coach, more leads, growing your business, scaling your business, reach out to us, skyscaling.com, book a meeting with one of our members, and we will gladly see if we can help you. So again, this was Gabriel, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.